Today's episode is brought to you by Naked Nutrition. Naked Nutrition provides you with pure protein powders and supplements to help you meet your nutrition and fitness goals. Naked Nutrition is completely transparent about their ingredients. That way you know exactly what's going into your body. No additives means your body gets more of what it needs, and I suggest checking out the chocolate Naked Whey protein powder. Right now you can get 10% off your first purchase at nakednutrition.com by using the code POD. That's 10% off using the code POD for first-time customers. Take your nutrition to the next level with Naked Nutrition. Welcome to the Bro Country Podcast. My name is Joey, and as always, I am joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris over here. What's going on over there tonight, Joey?
Hey Chris, not a whole lot, man. Just getting ready for this Christmas holiday that's coming up this coming week. So staying busy, buying stuff for people. The wife's wrapping it because I'm no good at any of that. But what about yourself?
Yeah, just ready for Christmas and definitely ready for the new year. It's been a rough year, so I'm looking forward to 2021.
Man, it has been a year to say the least. It just seems like it's crazy now that it's almost the end of 2020 and this year has just drug by so bad, and there's just been so much negative this year. I'm hoping that we get some positives for 2021, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got faith. I think next year's going to be a bounce back year for sure.
I'm going to hit 30 concerts at least next year, hopefully. What's your goal?
That's a good goal. Let's hit 30 for sure.
Let's do it. But anyway, on to tonight's episode, guys. We have a fun one for you. We are actually going to be talking our top favorite country Christmas songs and albums in preparation for this holiday. Prior to that, though, we do want to do a brief News Out of Nashville segment. Not a whole lot happened this past week. And then we also want to do a little bit of what we would consider a tribute segment for a country music icon that passed away this past week. Unfortunately, Charley Pride passed due to COVID-19, and we just want to talk a little bit about Charley's life growing up and his career. So to kick it off, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about the charts?
Yeah, so the charts this week, Carrie's album, My Gift, was number one again. It's the fourth week that she's been number one. I tried to look, and I cannot find the last time that a Christmas album spent at least 4 weeks in the same year on the country chart. So, I mean, it's been a long time since there was a country album that has been as big as Carrie's has been. The number one song on radio this week was Big Big Plans by Chris Lane, which is an utterly forgettable number one song. Utterly forgettable. This is his third or fourth number one song, and I don't know if I could tell you the other ones right offhand. I mean, I'm not hating on him. It is what it is, but it's just a song that is just forgettable, totally forgettable. But the big news on the chart is Gabby Barrett's I Hope is spending its 20th week on top of the Hot Country chart. And it's the longest reigning female song ever on the Hot Country chart, and it's her debut single. So that's
awesome.
That's wild. So Gabby's only 20. I think she's getting ready to turn 21, and her second single is flying up the radio chart, and she's got some momentum. She's definitely got some momentum.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. I remember following her on American Idol, and she's just very impressive performer and singer, so I'm excited to see what the future brings for her.
Yeah, and I mean, she's 7 or 8 months pregnant and still promoting like crazy and performing on all these shows, and I mean, she's going at it really hard this year.
Yeah, most definitely. She's definitely not letting that hold her back at all, which is super impressive. So that's great for her. And speaking of debuts, though, we made our debut on TikTok, and this has been crazy.
Yeah, tell us about it. You've been sending me updates and screenshots all week.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I just got on there and thought it would be a good way to kind of share some of the podcast episodes we've done in the past, just to kind of promote the show a little bit and get our name out there. And I mean, we had 2 videos go viral. I did one on Luke Combs, just a little 20-second clip of some fun facts about Luke. It got 15.4 thousand views. And then I did one on Morgan Wallen, kind of a similar thing, just giving some fun facts about Morgan, and that one got 16,000 views. And I wish the amount of views would transition into followers, but we're at like 752 followers in like a week and a half.
Yeah, we're gonna hit 1,000 followers in probably in the next week. It's crazy, man.
It's pretty cool. It's cool that there's a platform out there like that where people can just connect, and especially in the world of country music. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, and, last week we did the episode on Brandon Davis, who is a TikTok star. So I mean, it's pretty awesome what country music's doing over there on TikTok.
Yeah. Brandon's awesome, man. And if you guys haven't checked that episode out, go back one episode from this one. We had the opportunity to sit down and chat with up-and-coming country artist Brandon Davis. And, I mean, his account, I looked at it earlier because he posted something, and he was at, 804 or 5,000 followers when we chatted with him last week. And he's at almost 816,000 right now.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
Tell people how to find us on TikTok there, Joey.
Yep, you just search at Bro Country Pod, and you can find us on there. So go check us out, give us a follow. We appreciate it. But yeah, so that's been fun. And you've got some news on a new single that is about to hit radio, right?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done our year-end charts yet, but I'm guessing that when we do our favorite stuff from 2020, that John Party's album and probably Ain't Always the Cowboy are going to be pretty high on the list for me. And he just announced what the next single from the album is going to be, and it's Tequila Little Time, and it's got one of the coolest kind of like mariachi openings to it, and it's going to be one of my favorite songs of 2021. And I've already marked down that John is definitely one of those guys that I want to see next year, and because we haven't been able to see hardly anybody this year, I've made a list of people that I've never seen that I want to see next year. And I've made a list of people that I've seen, but it's been a while, and I really need to catch up with them again. And John's definitely on the list of people that I'm looking forward to seeing next year.
Have you seen Party before?
I have, but goodness, man, it's been like kind of like you were saying. It's been at least 3, 4, 5 years ago. Yeah. I think he opened for Dirks in Nashville. I went to one of Dirks's celebrity charity events, and Party was there, but he only played 4 or 5 songs. So I haven't seen him on a big tour, doing half hour, 45-minute opener or anything like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think we've talked about this before, but I saw him open for Luke Bryan it's been almost a little over 2 years ago now. It was 2018, I believe, and he was awesome, man. He really was. Him and Morgan were there, believe it or not. And not to get off topic, but it was crazy because Morgan, and I think I may have mentioned this on the show before, but we probably have some new listeners now. Morgan wasn't even officially in the lineup. It was Sam Hunt, John Party, and Luke Bryan. And I want to say 2 or 3 days before the concert, Ticketmaster sent out an email with a revised lineup that Morgan Wallen was going to be coming on at 4:30 p.m.
Oh, wow.
And this was at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati at the Reds baseball stadium.
Uh-huh.
And we went to see Morgan because we knew who he was. It was kind of when Up Down was kind of taking off. And he was awesome live, dude. I haven't got the chance to see Morgan since then. I was supposed to see him this year with Luke Bryan, but as everybody in the world knows, concerts have been canceled, so didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately. But he's one that I'm definitely excited to see again. Both those guys, Party and Morgan.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, they've rescheduled Luke Bryan's tour for next year, and Morgan is still scheduled as the opener. But by the time next year rolls around, Morgan's going to be the biggest star in country music. So how does he go on tour as an opener? I don't know. It's going to be. Yeah. I'm curious to see how they're gonna handle that. It would not surprise me if Luke gets somebody else to open and they go ahead and let Morgan go on his own tour because I mean he's ready. He's on fire. Yeah, he's ready.
He'll sell out shows, big shows. Yeah, so, but
for sure, man.
I don't know how that works. There's contractual obligations or what. I don't think there's anything like that necessarily, but I'd be interested to know kind of how that works out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just with everything going on, there's going to be a bunch of changes. So it wouldn't either way. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Morgan next year too.
Most definitely. Drew Parker got some good news this week. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
He did. Well, I mean, he was announced, what was it, probably a month and a half, 2 months ago, as the next highway find on Sirius XM radio. And every year, kind of end of December, Sirius picks, I think they call it their next artist in each kind of genre of music. And their 2021 next artist is going to be Drew. So he is going to get heavy radio play from all of Sirius's country channels, probably all of 2021. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, his fan base has already grown a lot, probably in the last couple of months. But next year is going to, especially if he can tour with Luke, and he gets all of this attention with Sirius, Drew's got a chance to really take off next year, and he definitely deserves it. And I know you think that he's going to be one of the next big guys.
I do. I think he's one of the next superstars, man. He's definitely got the voice, the songwriting abilities, the stage presence. I mean, it's just a matter of time for him to get his name out there to the world, man. And I think he's going to take off. He's in the right group, as we've talked about before, with Luke, Ray Fulcher, and all those guys. So,
yep, I agree.
Definitely excited for the Drew's future. So,
yeah, it's huge for him.
But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our News Out of Nashville segment for this week, guys. There's not a whole lot going on. But to get kind of into our Charley Pride segment, unfortunately, Charley Pride passed away on December 12th, 2020, again due to COVID-19. Charley grew up and really just first started playing music and guitar around the age of 14 when he was in high school. But Charley always dreamed of playing baseball, and so he actually made it happen and played for a few professional teams, one being the Memphis Red Sox. But then in 1956, he was drafted to the U.S. Army, but returned to baseball in 1958. Gosh. And something I found that was cool was that his baseball manager realized that he could sing and started paying him a little bit extra to sing 15 minutes before games.
That's awesome, man.
So that was pretty awesome. Cool. So after that, though, Charley started doing gigs around town and was noticed by Chet Atkins of RCA Victor. And Chet actually helped him get signed to a contract. But something that was ironic is Charley's first two singles didn't even chart. So he didn't really. I saw that. Yeah, he didn't really blow up right away. So his first two singles didn't chart. But then he had some success with his release of Just Between You and Me. It reached number 9 on the Hot Country charts. And then in 1971, he dropped probably his most recognizable song, Kiss an Angel, Good Morning.
Yeah, for sure.
And he actually won CMA Entertainer of the Year that same year.
Yeah, I was going back to YouTube and watching a bunch of Charley clips earlier this week, and there's a clip of when he won Entertainer of the Year. Glenn Campbell gives it to him, and you have to remember, 1971, our country's in a completely different place than we are now. Mm-hmm. And Glenn Campbell and Charley had been really close, really good friends. And when he announces the winner, he kind of jumps up, similar to the way Luke did for Eric, and he said, "It's about time." Mm-hmm. And the whole place, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, everybody is just like going crazy for Charley. I mean, that's 49 years ago, and there's never been a moment like that since then. I mean, it's a half a century ago. Think about it. I mean, it's just crazy to think about.
It is. It's incredible. And but speaking of winning Entertainer of the Year, I mean, Charley had so many accolades and awards. He was an Opry member, a Country Music Hall of Fame member, had 29 number one singles, countless other awards, including the most recently the 2020 CMA Lifetime Achievement Award, where he performed the duet with Jimmy Allen. And Charley, he was just a true icon in country music and will definitely be missed. And us guys here at the Bro Country Podcast just want to send our best wishes and condolences to anybody that was close to Charley, being a friend or family member. And definitely keep you guys in our thoughts and prayers for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, Charley was 86 years old when he died. He was still performing, like you said. He performed at the award show, a month and a half ago. He had a full tour schedule last year. He went to Europe last year at 85 years old and was doing shows. I mean, the guy, he played in the Negro professional leagues. He was in the armed forces, and he's a country music Hall of Famer. There's never been anybody in the history of our country that has been able to do the things and seen the things that Charley Pride did. It's a very unique story. I think you could see from the tributes and the shout outs on social media last week. I mean, everybody in country music, all the way from Dolly and Reba and all the old timers, all the way down to the brand new artists. Everybody knew and respected and loved Charley Pride, and it's a big loss.
Huge, man. But
Yeah,
on a brighter note, that was kind of our memoriam for Charley, paying our respects here, just to give you guys some
absolutely.
insight on his background and accolades. But on a brighter note, let's move on to our favorite country Christmas songs.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Gonna
This is gonna be fun, and if for people that have listened, you and I sometimes have similar lists, so
yeah,
I'm
anxious to see.
I'm curious to see how similar we are on this, because there's a lot of country Christmas songs out there. I would think that we are different, but I have a feeling that at least one or two of them are going to be the same.
We'll definitely cross paths on one or two, I'm sure. And I almost goofed up and sent you my list earlier.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah,
I love not knowing.
I was going to send you a quick revised version of our little outline for tonight's episode, and I was like, oh crap, I already have all my picks on there. I can't send that to him.
That's funny. I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, but we'll just do this one kind of like we always do, guys. We'll go top five being the lowest, one being the highest. Obviously, we'll go 5 to 1.
Yeah,
I'll kick it off, man.
Kick it off, man.
Number 5, I've got "Do You Hear What I Hear" by Carrie Underwood.
Oh man. Okay, so before we were talking earlier in the week, we were going to break it down into kind of original, like country original songs, and then like classic songs that like everybody has covered. And so when we were going to do it that way, I had Carrie, "Do You Hear What I Hear" at number 3 on my favorite covers of classic songs, because she absolutely kills it on that song.
Very good song. Very, very good.
Very, very, very good.
What do you got sitting at number 5?
Sitting at number 5, I have Joe Diffie's, another legend that we lost this year.
Oh.
Leroy the Redneck Reindeer.
Yes. I love it.
It's just one of those funny, it fits him perfectly. It kind of sounds like all the other radio hits that he had, but it's just a fun song, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's funny.
Number 4, this one was hard for me not to put higher, just because this is probably my most played country Christmas song. I've got "Run Run Rudolph" by Luke Bryan.
Oh, I told Lindsay earlier that I knew you were gonna put his version of that on there. It is so good.
It is, and I almost put like / Randall King, because I really like Randall King's cover of it too, but I didn't. I left that one out and just stuck with my boy Luke. So
we're gonna come back to that kind of in my honorable mentions. So we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. That's funny. Okay. It's awesome though. His version is awesome. At number 4, I have "Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy," which was originally by Buck Owens, but Brad Paisley covered it, and probably more people our age know Brad's version of that song, but it's originally a Buck Owens song.
Yeah, I almost put that one in my top 5, but I didn't. Brad's version, but I did not.
Yeah, so far I've got just fun Christmas songs, like "Run Rudolph Run." I mean, they're just, Christmas is, especially this year, I just want fun music, man. I just need stuff to lift my spirits.
Stuff. Yeah, most definitely, man.
For sure.
What
you got sitting there at number 3, Joe?
Sitting at number 3, I've got "Where Are You Christmas" by Faith Hill.
Oh man, so we don't both have that on our list, but it was probably my next choice to put on there. So
it's a good one.
It is a good one. It's you were 9 when The Grinch came out, so I'm guessing that you probably watched that movie a lot when you were growing up. And
it's been on at the house a couple times over the past few weeks, also with the wife and the boy and I just watching.
Oh, I bet. So. Yeah, that's a great song. I love that song.
For sure, man. What do you got at number 3?
At number 3, I have, this is an oldie, but this is probably 1967, 1968, I think this came out. "Old Toy Trains" by Roger Miller. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of people cover it. You'd probably know it if you.
I was gonna say I know
this
song. Yeah. I've not heard his version though.
Yeah, I think it was probably my papa's favorite country Christmas song from when I was a kid, because it's just always kind of been part of what I listened to at Christmas. So I've got it at number 3.
That's awesome, man. I'll have to listen to that cover as soon as we get off here tonight. But number 2, I've got Christmas in Dixie by Alabama.
Oh, what do you think of that one?
It's a good one, and it's
It
one
is.
that our household loves. My grandma loved it. Growing up, I remember hearing it, and then my wife loves it. Her family loves it. It's just one that we play a lot during the holiday season for sure.
Yeah, when I was looking at everything to make my list, I was going through, Garth and Reba and Vince and George Strait and all the icons, and they've all done Christmas albums, but a lot of them don't have like that signature Christmas song. But Christmas in Dixie by Alabama is like maybe the signature song for country music.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. It was really hard not to put that one at number 1, but when you hear what I've got at number 1, you may understand why.
Okay, let's see. Number two for me. Now, this, there, it's to me one of my favorite albums for Christmas music was Alan Jackson. We'll get to albums here in a second, but one of my favorite is Alan Jackson, and there's literally 3 songs on there that I could have put on this list.
Yeah.
I Only Want You for Christmas, Let It Be Christmas, but then the one that I put on there was written by Keith Whitley, and it's actually a duet with Keith Whitley, New Kid in Town.
Oh, nice.
You know that one?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Love that
It's-
album.
Yeah, it's really good, man.
Well, then I guess it's fair to say my number 1 is Let It Be Christmas by Alan Jackson. I knew we'd have something pretty similar in our top 5.
Oh my
so.
gosh, that's awesome, man. I mean, I almost put Let It Be Christmas in number 2 because it's just, number 2. It's so good.
And it's such a trademark, like, staple country Christmas song.
It is.
And
It is.
Alan Jackson's so dang good, so that's my number 1 for sure, man. I'm ready to hear what you've got, though, since I
Okay,
know
well-
you don't have that one.
So my caveat on this is probably my 2 or 3 favorite Christmas songs are on my favorite album that we're going to talk about here in a minute, and I did not include those on the singles. But
Okay.
my number 1 is your number 2, Christmas in Dixie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, so Alan Jackson and Alabama are ruling our charts here, Joey.
Yeah. And I think that many fans of country music, especially country Christmas music, would probably agree that those are a top 3 country Christmas song. I would think. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I would think because they're just like such staples,
Absolutely. I mean, Christmas in Dixie. There's it's not really a Christmas song, but it gets played at Christmas a lot. Oh shoot, it's escaping. Angels Among Us by Alabama. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I play it at Christmas every year, but it's not really a Christmas song. But Alabama, their Christmas album, I'm actually looking at it as we sit here and talk. My dad had an old vinyl copy of it, and it's probably the record that my family listened to the most when I was a kid was the Alabama Christmas record.
So good, man.
Yeah, it really is, man. Christmas in Dixie is just hard to beat.
Yeah. Oh man, such an amazing album. But honorable mentions, I've got a few.
Yeah, what do you got for honorable mentions?
I'll preface with I really enjoyed this Christmas album. I've got "I'll Be Home for Christmas" by Brett Eldredge.
Oh,
I thought his "Glow," right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, "Glow." That was a really good Christmas album, and I actually bought the disc and everything, like the CD, and I still have it somewhere. I think it's in my car, but I love that song, and it I don't think it was top 5 material, but I think it was definitely an honorable mention.
yeah, I think Brett was on Bobby Bones this morning or yesterday playing Christmas music. He's kind of like,
He's like kind of known for that.
yeah, he really is. He's really known for that album. It was really big for him.
Yeah, and like I'm looking at his Spotify profile right now as we speak, and like top 4, like the top 4 out of his top 5 songs, like popular songs, are all Christmas songs.
That's wild, man.
Like "Baby
That
It's
is
Cold
wild.
Outside," 95 million, some odd streams, "Under the Mistletoe," "Christmas Time Is Here," "A Holly Jolly
Gosh.
Christmas."
That's crazy.
Top 4. He's just got a great voice for it, man. But
Yeah, he's kind of got that crooner / country sound, so it works with
Yeah.
Christmas really well.
yeah, it's crazy how he's kind of just known for that now, though.
It is.
But it's cool.
It is. Yeah.
But
What else you
what's,
got for honorable mention?
Yeah. So I'll go through a couple more of mine. I've just got a couple more here. I've got "Silent Night" by Carrie Underwood.
Oh, Carrie's just got such a perfect voice for Christmas music.
Absolutely, and she can just hit those notes, and she's so good. But then I've got Holly Jolly Christmas by Chris Young.
Oh, I love Chris Young's Christmas CD is really good. It's
Very
really
good. Very, very
Yeah.
good. I was actually listening to that tonight in the car, and I mean, it's one I go to every year since it's came out. It came out in 2016. It
I
must
think
be
it's
Christmas.
the last track or maybe the second to last track on the album, but it's the original. It's called Must Be Christmas, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that's the last
And
one.
it's
It must be
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah, that's an awesome song. We were listening to that tonight too.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, I had that as one of my honorable mentions.
Nice. What else do you have as honorable mentions?
Well, so you put Run Rudolph Run by Luke Bryan, which is like, one of the most upbeat rockin' Christmas songs of all time. But
Yeah.
and I love it. But one of my favorite Luke Christmas song is his version of "Oh Holy Night." Have you ever heard him sing that one?
Oh yeah, very, very
Yeah,
good.
man. Luke gets not necessarily a bad rap, but people don't really think of him as like a vocalist, but he can freaking sing, man. He sings the heck out of that song.
I think it was when "Kick the Dust Up" came out, where everyone was kind of like, "Okay, this guy's crazy." But
Yeah,
no, Luke's got some great vocals, that's for sure.
he really does, man.
He's just a great entertainer. I mean, he plays instruments, he sings well, he's great on stage. I mean, he's not an American Idol judge for no reason, right?
Yeah, I was looking. He's got 9 million Twitter followers.
Luke does,
That's
Luke
great.
Bryan.
Yeah, Luke Bryan does.
He's huge, man, and
He is.
we won't get too far off topic here because we'll probably cover this on an episode in the future. But like with his past, like tragic, family tragedy that he's had to deal with, and like get through the adversity to get to where he's at in life now is just so impressive and inspiring for sure.
It is absolutely, man. I mean, Luke's one of those guys that can sing "Oh Holy Night" and then turn around and sing "Run Rudolph Run," and they're both sides of him, but it works perfectly. And that's really like all of his music. I mean, he can go from drink a beer to kick the dust up, and it works.
I will say that's probably my least favorite Luke Bryan song of all time, though. "Kick the Dust Up." Probably.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to do our best and worst Luke songs, and I agree that'll be on my list too.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But what else you got for honorable mentions for your top country Christmas songs?
I just had the other Alan Jackson songs, and I had the Chris Young song, and I had the Luke "Oh Holy Night." Those are the honorable mentions I had written down there.
Nice. So I did put a little list together here of some of my favorite country Christmas albums as well,
Okay.
and
What
I
you
think
got?
you did too. I had them ranked 1 to 3 and some of the songs off. Well, let me just tell you what they are. So I've got number 1. I've got Alan Jackson's "Let It Be Christmas."
Okay,
Number 2.
that was my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've got "Alabama Christmas" by Alabama, number 2.
that's my number 2. So
There we go.
We're exact on that.
And
you
I've
got at number 1 or number 3?
Number 3, I've got Chris Young's "It Must Be Christmas."
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Those are good choices right there.
Which I didn't have any of the songs off Chris's album in my top 5. We obviously had the honorable mention. It's just really hard for me to narrow it down to fit him into the top 5, but definitely a very solid country Christmas album.
Yeah, so my number 2 song was "New Kid in Town" by Alan Jackson and Keith Whitley. But on that record, Chris and Alan Jackson do a duet of it, and it's an awesome version. I mean,
Very good.
we love Chris, and especially older Chris like that.
Yeah, man. I when you told me he was going to be doing the Charley Pride tribute on the Opry, was that last Saturday?
Yeah,
I think, yeah, last Saturday. That was just hearing him sing some of them older songs. I was like, God, he's got such a good voice, man. I hate that he went like the full auto-tune, poppy kind of sound,
yeah.
Which he still puts out good music. I don't want to take
He
away
does.
from him. I mean, Chris
He
puts
does.
out great music, but I think if he would have, and especially now that kind of resurgence of the true to your roots country sound like Luke, Morgan, Riley Green that we've talked about multiple times, I think if he just would have stuck with that or will bring some of that back, I mean, he could
Oh
just
yeah,
blow up.
if Neon was coming out right now, that album, oh my god, it would
huge.
be so massive. I mean, it was massive when it came out, but it would be so huge right now if that's the kind of music he was making.
But nonetheless, we still love Chris Young.
So my number 1 album came out What year were you born, Joe?
Come on, man.
Not 90,
you're gonna date
91,
me.
something like
I was
that.
born on the last day of the year in 1991, December
There you go.
31st,
Okay, so my
1991.
favorite Christmas country album by far, maybe one of my two or three favorite albums of all time, came out in 1984,
Whew.
and it is I was looking. I mean, if you some people would include Elvis and people like that as far as country, but if you just look at just country people, that probably the number one selling country album of all time, and my favorite country album of all time is "Once Upon a Christmas" by Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah,
Such
it's
a good
always been my
choice.
favorite my whole life. There was a CBS like hour long special back in I think 85 or 86 that they played every year. And that was like probably a rare thing for them to do that kind of stuff back in the early to mid 80s. But Kenny and Dolly had just had "Islands in the Stream," which is probably the biggest country duet of all time, and they did this country album together. Dolly wrote most of the stuff. It's got "Hard Candy Christmas" on it. It's got "Christmas Without You," "Christmas to Remember." It's got her version of "Winter Wonderland" on it. It's just Dolly. Anytime Dolly and Kenny got together, it was always magic in the 80s. And
Yeah,
my family has always loved this album, and it's just always been my favorite country Christmas album. And I go back to it every single year.
that's awesome, man. It is so good too.
Yeah,
Definitely a
it's an
classic.
oldie but goodie. Yeah,
Oldie but a goodie.
that's right, man.
Showing your age, man. I'm just
That's
kidding.
right. We're sitting here. We're sitting here 1 week from Christmas, so I've got at least one more week to jam out to all these songs.
Yeah. We'll carry it into the new year.
Oh, that's
January
right.
1, then we'll cut it. So,
That's right. That's right, man.
you got any other albums that you want to mention, or?
Well, I mean, growing up, it was Kenny and Dolly and Alabama. Those were the two records. Like I went through my dad's vinyl collection probably 6 months ago, and I pulled out, a bunch of the vinyls that I wanted to keep. Whether I'm gonna like frame them and put them on the walls, or I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. But collecting vinyls like a big thing again. I mean, I
Oh
know
yeah,
you got the Luke vinyls and
some church vinyls
some
over here
church
too.
vinyls, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going through and I pulled out all the ones that I wanted, and it was like, so I get to the Christmas albums, and he had, for whatever reason, my dad had two copies of the Alabama Christmas, and he had the Kenny and Dolly. He had, I guess there was a "Merry Christmas to Straight to You," which was George Strait's first Christmas record. He had that one, but I don't really remember listening to that one growing up. So, but then probably 91, 92, when Alan Jackson's first Christmas record came out, we listened to that one a ton. So, I think with Christmas music, like the stuff you listened to when you were a kid just sticks with you forever.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a nostalgia piece to it, and just like the memories that you have, in later in life, being a kid, listening to that with your family, whether it have been your parents, your grandparents, or your siblings or whatnot. So,
Yeah, for
I, I
sure.
and I almost think that's just music in general. I mean, that's a huge. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the only reason because Garth is amazing, but that's a huge reason I love Garth is just because that's what I grew up listening to, and my grandma and grandpa just loved him, and who
Do you
doesn't
have
love Garth?
any memory of listening to Garth's Christmas records?
Not specific
Yeah,
memories,
I don't either.
but I do
It's
remember hearing it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, he had two like big
Solid
Christmas
ones.
records, but I don't really remember listening to them at all whenever I was growing up.
No, not. Yeah, that's weird because, like I said, my grandparents had Garth on all the time, and I can't even think of like specific memories of his Christmas music. But
Yeah,
I know I've heard it,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
nothing sticks out because usually, as Mr. Eric Church says, this is paraphrasing. Music is, freezes a moment in time, and you can remember back to when you heard that song. And none of Garth's Christmas songs do that for me. So.
Yeah, strange, man.
But man, that is all I've got for country Christmas songs. You got anything else?
No, I think we're good, man. We had enough different stuff, but we had a lot of the same stuff too, there, Joe.
Typical.
Yeah, that's right.
You hacked my phone and looked at my notes or something probably right now.
Well, I would have bet I would have laid down $100 that Christmas in Dixie was going to be on your list. I had a good feeling about that one.
I was thinking Run Run Rudolph would have been in your top 5, but it was
Well,
honorable
like I said, I knew it would be on yours because I knew you loved it.
for sure.
That's right, man.
But yeah, guys, that wraps it up for us with our top favorite country Christmas songs and albums. If you haven't heard some of those or any of those, go check them out. They're all amazing. Make sure you guys follow us on social media: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Just search at Bro Country Pod. Facebook, just search Bro Country Podcast. Like our page, join our group. We'd love to have you in our community. Chris and I will be taking the next couple weeks off to enjoy the holidays with our families. Christmas is coming up this coming week, and then New Year's Eve is actually my birthday, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. So we're going to take a couple weeks off just to kick back and enjoy the holidays. So till next time, guys, keep it country and take care of each other. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holiday Season, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy it. Enjoy the time with your families.